What is going on, everyone? This video is going to be some solo work for those that don't have an academy, for those that don't have a training partner at that very moment. That does not mean you cannot train Filipino martial arts, you just gotta filter it a little bit. Before we get into this video, I do want to share with you guys that our Union Apparel fight shorts are available. So these are super high quality shorts. I'm super excited about this. You don't have to wear it for Filipino martial arts. You can wear it for grappling, for striking. They're breathable. The material does have spandex in it, so it is a mix of polyester and spandex, and that allows it to stretch, gives you kind of like that fight short or no-gi feel. All the print is sublimated, so it will not fade after all the times you need to wash it. Adjustable Velcro for your waist as well. So if you guys are interested in supporting and grabbing yourself a pair, they are available at anastaciokali.com. Description box below. So when we talk about solo training, of course I don't have a partner. It doesn't have to be this particular setup, but I am using a padded stick that I forged myself, as well as I'm using a standalone, or rather freestanding Wavemaster from Century. I've seen setups that have the bob and have sticks attached to it, and you can also use live sticks if that's your forte. Obviously the live sticks are going to take a little bit more to your bag, so if you guys do want to preserve, just think about something a little bit lighter or watch the power in your application. But with that being said, this is solo bag work, in particularly looking at sparring situations. So in sparring, what we want to look at is, of course, the rule set as well as movement in relation to our target. No fights will ever happen face to face like this without any sort of moving, especially when you incorporate weapons and especially when you're on the same page. As in, my opponent wants to strike me and score a point, I want to strike my opponent and score a point. So some of these things that I'm about to show you are going to incorporate a little bit of footwork. They're going to require a little bit of an understanding of basics so that you can get from kind of point A to point B with the basic lines. So if you guys do want to see that, tons of videos on this channel, tons of videos available for you guys on Anastacio Kali. So I'm just going to stick to the more significant things on this video. So first things first, when I am striking, one of the kind of basic entries that we use is an umbrella block, and some cases called a roof block, and a lot of the times it's in coordination with your female triangle or 45-degree footwork. Again, that's a moldable template, so the way I step is a little generic because my target isn't moving. That might need to adjust, as well as the height and angle of my strikes or follow-ups because of the person or the target in front of me. But anyways, what we're going to do is, a very common one is we go with the same line. So what that looks like is I'm going to step offline into my umbrella block on the right side, and this line that I draw here, I'm going to use that to strike down on an angle 1. So if I step off to the side here, I twist into my angle 1, or if I step off to the left here, I strike into my angle 2. So this basic concept is going offline and intercepting back online. When I step off the line of force, if my opponent is coming straight here, 1, I preserve myself, but 2, I'm going to attack on this angle here or from this space, which allows me to hit where probably the stick isn't in place or it's not ready to defend against my angle 1, or on the flip side, to strike my angle 2. This is the most basic concept. It doesn't have to be the same line, but basically off that umbrella block or that roof block, you can hit from a forehand strike, 1, 3, 5, or it can be from the backhand side, 2, 4, 6. Okay? Really mixing it up, just understanding the angles, but common principle, deflect and attack. Okay, so that's one way you can work it with your X patterns, your side to sides, and your reverse X's. The next one that I want to show is a little bit more intricate and it's a little bit more sparring specific. So in that kind of principle of the umbrella block, which is probably one of the most common ways people attempt to defend themselves in sparring, a lot of the times when you do this, you have to sacrifice a little bit of the footwork because maybe you're caught off guard or you're not adjusted to your opponent's tempo yet. So this one's going to be a little bit more of compressed entry. I am going to be going straight, but I'm not going to be taking a huge step. I'm going to let my block lead the way. So once I block up here with my umbrella block, instead of me going and off-angling myself, I'm going to take my body, I'm going to twist it into what we call an arco strike or a Wittig strike, which is basically a vertical strike going down and sometimes circular motion. Okay, so as I block here, I just want to twist my body, work this very small thin line. So literally, if I'm looking at you and I'm doing this, I'm not twisting, bringing it back, and striking. It's literally going into it and stretching. Okay? This one's very, very good because it's sneaky. It doesn't work off of the traditional timing of big movements that you would normally see in a lot of stick or sword play. But once I come inside here, it's a block, and then it's a hit right away. A lot of my body language doesn't really change. My position doesn't really change, so it's hard to telegraph off of that block. This one's super effective, but depending on your play style, in terms of sparring, you may not like to get that close. So this one's going to start a little bit more away, and it's going to eventually work in what we call like a medium range. So this time, instead of leading with a block, I'm leading with a strike. It could be angle 1 or it could be angle 2. Basically, I need a slashing motion. So a very common principle that I think a lot of other systems, in fact maybe all systems have, is a slash to snap concept. So slashes are big motions coming through the target. My snaps are a little bit more condensed. They're a little bit more fine line where I can take those angles, but instead of coming through the target, I'm going to hit the target and return to the point of origin. So there's two major ways I like doing this. One is off of a follow-up where I strike, I change the timing, and I hit with a snap. Okay? That snap allows me to bring myself back in, and then I can go into whatever other technique I need to do, instead of committing to just striking, or slashing, depending on how you're applying that slash. Right? Another important way that I like doing this, especially if you consider that your opponent has a little bit of skill, which odds are when you spar, they do. So I use my angle 1, but I don't intend to hit with it yet. I just kind of want to give this feinting line or this fake line. So once I do that, I kind of stretch myself, which allows me to be a little bit further away. But what I do is, once it comes close to contact, I pull it back in. So I actually end my strike a little prematurely so that I can get to the snapping position much quicker. So once I bait that angle 1, I pull it back in, and then I throw the snap. I know I don't need to throw my hips all the way because I'm not trying to cut through. I'm just kind of like jabbing them with it. So when I stretch, come back, and then I snap. I stretch, come back, and then with the snap. And it's one of those tempo changes that, again, skill or not, it's not necessarily the degree of difficulty in my technique, it's the application and the ability to dictate distance and timing a little better. So with the last strike that I'm going to show you guys, it's one of my favorites. I call it a bouncing strike. Still working off the principle of kind of faking a line or feinting with something and making them fall for it. So when I decide to do this, I start a little bit further, and I'm going to work with my footwork as well as two different strikes. One being a horizontal strike, one being an uppercut or a reverse X strike. So what I want to do is I want to have enough space, and I want to move at a time where my partner or opponent can see it. So I'm going to give an angle 3 very nonchalantly. If I come in very aggressively, no matter what I do, they're going to kind of adjust to that timing. So I come in very nice and smooth. When I start seeing that reaction trying to make its way in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my base, and I'm going to bounce off the ground up by stepping offline into a reverse strike or a reverse X. In this case, this is our angle 5. So I probably hit everyone with this at least twice when I spar, just because of how elusive it is in terms of combining everything and catching someone off guard. So when I come out here, very smooth, drop and strike. I do it slowly, drop, bounce off the ground, help yourself come back up, change levels and strike. You can do it on the forehand, you can do it on the backhand. Super effective. It's a really, really easy way to enter or get into an area where you can continue to follow up or just score the point. So all of this, again, comes from an understanding of the fundamentals. But with that being said, if you do like to spar and you do want to practice those combinations and you don't have a partner, hitting the bag is probably your best bet. Coming in with the right mindset that it's not just standing here and striking your angles. It's footwork, it's visualizing the situation and trying to fine-tune your movement to meet those situations that you're visualizing. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know. I am working on new content such as live sparring commentary so you can see these moves in action and you can see if you like that kind of style. Let me know in the comments below what kind of combinations, what kind of strikes you guys like doing in sparring. You you guys spar at all. If you are interested in training with us, you can train with us online at anastasiokhalid.com as well. And again, the fight shorts are available there. Super excited for 2020. I hope you guys are. If you're new to this channel, hope you guys subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And until next time, catch you guys then.